Get ready for several big changes to our weather pattern, including some snow tonight, slick AM road Saturday, and then a shift in our weather pattern that rises our snow levels, brings rain, stronger winds, and a warming trend. All of this with back-to-back systems through this weekend. Hey everyone, good evening and happy Friday. I am Darrell Winninger, Chief Meteorologist at Central Oregon Daily News, and we are about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast, looking at what's been happening today, the changes that have already started, and what's happening through this weekend, how these changes are going to impact our weather pattern, and just what you can expect through Central Oregon. All that happening here in the next several minutes, so buckle up. It's going to be fun. Let's start off with what we're seeing right here and right now across the high desert. Whole lot of cloud cover, which is a far cry from what we had earlier today. What we don't see as much in the way of precipitation until you get to the highest elevations of the Cascades. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at a picture from earlier today. This one was taken this morning and sent in by Larry, and so it was as we started the day Friday. We had teens, some single digits, a few 20s, and it was just a cold start, but a gorgeous view of the Three Sisters and really all of the Cascades. But here through tonight and the next couple of days, our winter storm impacts include limited impacts in our lower elevations and minor to moderate impacts through the Cascade passes. Why? Well, because we're getting into our next active weather pattern. These back-to-back systems are on the way. The first one rolls through tonight, and that's the one. That warm front is the one that could bring some snow totals. Not much for Central Oregon, however, enough to slicken the roads as we start the day. So just like we've seen the last couple of mornings. But when we go ahead and look across the high desert tonight, this evening I should say, for our cameras, we don't see too much on the way on the roads in the way of snow, pardon me. But looking even at the Cascades, we've had a lot of melting today. That's due in part to the tons of sunshine we've had, also a warming trend that started up. So switching gears, looking at cameras in the passes, we again do not see much in the way of snow on the roads. However, several of those roads are damp, and temperatures are already well below freezing at 26 degrees at St. Ian Pass at this moment. And what that means for us is we are looking at the potential of a little bit of a refreeze through the overnight hours. So it's something we're going to continue to track with you. But as far as snow goes, our snow report shows that since for the last 24 hours or so, we haven't had too much in the way of new snow. A few more lingering snow showers up at Timberline, plus 2 inches since this time yesterday. But for the rest of us, it hasn't been much at all. In fact, still at 44 inches at Bachelor, 27 inches at Hoodoo. But hey, that was definitely good enough for the for Hoodoo to open up the mountain yesterday. Bachelor opened up a couple new runs, and if you're planning on hitting the slopes this weekend, Saturday is going to be your best bet, because by Sunday we're looking at rain and snow showers in the highest elevations, including the Cascades, including at these snow resorts, just depending on what elevation you're at. So Saturday's powder prognosis does have some light snow tonight, part of this warm front coming through. Most of that happens during the AM hours, and we're going to have a couple forecast models here in a few minutes. But when it comes to through the rest of the day, that snow becoming some rain and snow showers by the afternoon, but overall temperatures don't get too far above freezing. And as we start the day Saturday, we are going to have some slick roads. So with this graphic, there's a lot happening here, and you can see this type of information in a couple of the weather apps that we have, including our news app. And going to the weather tab, you can see this information there. But we are expecting some snow on the roads through the passes and in some of our lower elevations, even right around Sisters, getting up to about Black Butte Ranch and even out to Cloverdale. We are looking at some patchy ice, some ice on the roadway, and that does include Crooked River Ranch, getting up to almost Geneva and a few other places. But for the lower elevations, mostly just wet roads. However, some of us having that light snow on the road for the 97 corridor through South Deschutes County and a few other spots on the map. Now, going forward through the day tomorrow, Saturday, at a glance, we are looking at some snow showers to start the day, then periods of clearing through the day. Winds are just going to get breezy, but a gradual warming trend continues today. We were running several degrees warmer than we were 24 hours ago. By tomorrow, bringing it closer to average for this time of the year, through the 30s, into the 40s for highs. But that's not going to be the end of our warm-up just yet. In fact, as we go forward, we are expecting even more warming, especially by the time we get to Sunday and Monday. So with satellite and radar, we are dry across Central Oregon. In fact, when we look at the bigger picture, we're noticing that clouds started to roll into the high desert earlier today, and the closest precipitation is way off to the southwestern corner of the state. And our next system is way out over the Pacific Ocean, but we can already see just behind the camera that you can see my face, and just behind that is where we have that next warm front. So let's go ahead and just move it just a little bit. Looks like satellite is ending over there, but that's just a product I picked for this. But what we do see is some rain and snow showers around the greater Medford area, and here's that warm front. As that rolls through the Cascades, that's what's going to bring us our chance of snow. And so switching things out, we were just looking at a blend of infrared and visible satellite imagery, now just infrared imagery, taking out the radar, throwing in some pressure lines. These isobars are equal lines of pressure, and where we see them tightly packed next to each other, that's where we have stronger winds. Today, mostly a light breeze. Look offshore though. We have 1, 2, 3 of them stacked up pretty quickly. That's where we are having breezy conditions already with that low pressure system offshore. Now switching gears to water vapor imagery, similar to infrared satellite imagery. This one just really takes a snapshot of what it looks like moisture-wise in the higher elevations. And across Central Oregon, overhead, more moisture is rolling in, so not as dry as it was this morning. And your forecast model shows that this is going to continue, where more moisture pushes into the high desert. And as we go forward through this weekend, we're actually expecting not just more snow tonight, snow showers, but rain through the next couple of days as well. So the forecast model does have a whole lot of cloud cover by 5 o'clock, and then more is expected through tonight. Notice there's considerably more cloud cover out there already than the forecast model holds. Keep that in mind when it comes to the thickness of the clouds as we go through the overnight hours and into Saturday morning. Now by 11 p.m. Friday, we are looking at a few snow showers. Most of it pushes through between 1 and 4 a.m., so really before sunrise. And then after sunrise, periods of clearing, some rain and snow showers, just not a lot of them. Watch what happens on Sunday. Specifically focus on the Cascades as well, because we are looking at starting off with some snow at the beginning of this next system, that cold front rolling in. Then in the Cascade, in the lower elevations, that becomes rain showers with a little bit of wintry mix. Notice breaks in the showers as well through the Sunday afternoon is when this is really going to take off. And then even in the highest elevations, we go from snow to wintry mix because it's not just a cold front, but our snow levels are actually going to be picking up with this system, because the cold front transitions to a warm front, and then even more warm air comes into the high desert. Now currently our relative humidity is moderate to low across Central Oregon, so it's a little dry overhead. We do have some of that moisture, some of that cloud cover already rolling in, but it's going to take a little bit before any precipitation results. Then some snow at the surface. Now highs in the last 24 hours, 40s and 30s across the high desert, right on target with the forecast. The forecast high for today was 40, 41 degrees. I'd say we got there for an average temperature for the Tri-County area. Meanwhile, temperatures right now are sitting in the 30s, except for 41 in Prineville and 45 degrees in Warm Springs. The rest of the high desert, 36 in Lapine and Sun River, 39 in Bend, Redmond, and Madras, 37 in Paulina, and 34 degrees right now in Sister. So currently we're running between 3 and almost 10 degrees warmer than just 24 hours ago, and tonight we're back into the 20s. But those 20s aren't really going to stick around for too long, because through the day we're through the 30s, reaching into the 40s. Now with that next warm up, we are expecting it to continue. So a warming trend all the way through this weekend, and ultimately as we go forward through tonight, the best chance of snow showers in our lower elevations. That happens tonight. And then through Saturday, we're looking at highs in the 40s. By Sunday, that next cold front fizzling out as it makes landfall. Rain is expected. Snow becoming a wintry mix in the highest elevations, and by Sunday, it's just getting gusty. Highs are in the 40s and 50s. By Monday, highs are in the 40s and 50s, because our next warm front is already going to be pushing through the region, and winds are once again going to be gusty with more showers expected. And notice, I'm being very specific, not snow showers, but rain showers are expected through most of Sunday and Monday, with those back-to-back systems that are going to be impacting us. And even on Monday, another warm warm front is going to be getting ready to roll into the high desert. So there is going to be a chance for snow, just most of it staying in the highest elevations. And I know a lot of people that are like, keep the snow in the mountains. Looks like it's what's happening through the next couple of days. Now, in our lower elevations, not only are we looking at a warming trend, Saturday is going to be breezy, Sunday and Monday will be gusty, and then we're getting that mountain snow. But by Saturday morning to start the day, that's when we could have some of those light snow showers already pushed through the high desert, and here's how this plays out. Here is another forecast model similar to the one we were just showing you, the one that has the high resolution imagery, but this one does show some snow showers working their way through the high desert with that warm front. Once we transition from that warm front to tracking our next cold front, we actually have some periods of clearing through the day. Saturday will be breezy. Sunday is when we get the snow in the mountains and rain in the lower elevations. Now, some snow showers for Central Oregon are expected, but just not much snow sticking outside of Saturday's slick morning commute. And then by Monday, this pattern stays with us. Tuesday, we're still going to be wet, still going to be gusty for many of us. And even our long-range forecast model confirms that same pattern with PM rain shower Sunday, rain Monday and Tuesday, and those gusty winds. By Wednesday, more sunshine. By Thursday, more sunshine. So notice a ridge of high pressure finally builds into the region late in the 7-day planner. But between now and 7 a.m. on Saturday, we are looking at getting some slick roads across the high desert. And ultimately, through the rest of Saturday, some rain and snow showers. And then it's by Sunday that we start to see that mountain snow. But let's skip ahead. Let's go ahead and look at our future precipitation between now and this time next week. 12 plus inches through the Cascades, lower elevations, pretty much what we're getting through the early morning hours today. Now, winds, on the other hand, not too significant. Winds are at a light breeze, not too gusty at all, and it's not going to be until the early morning hours that wind speeds start to pick up. Tomorrow, breezy, gusty at times. Sunday and Monday, gusty conditions are expected. Most of our winds out of the south. So through tonight, we're expecting 20s with a few 30s and teens. AM snow showers by Saturday. Periods of PM clearing. So times of sunshine and some rain and snow showers expected, 40s for most, then into the 50s, and this wild weekend weather pattern continues until we get further into next week. After that, drying out. Roller coaster temperatures are expected. So a quick look at our headlines include a weekend warming trend, a slick start, breezy Saturday, and then gusty, wetter Sunday and Monday. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News for the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.